Everybody, Jimmy Smith for FightPicks.com. Making my picks. Sign up at FightPicks.com with the promo code Jimmy Smith, all one word, uppercase or lowercase. Sign up, it's free, and you can go against me and see how you do. Had a pretty good week last week. Only one fight that I didn't pick the correct winner. Let's see if I have that streak this time. It's UFC Fight Night 150, Jacaré versus Hermansson. Start at the bottom of the card. And we have Roosevelt Roberts versus Thomas Gifford. Both guys making their UFC debut. But Roosevelt Roberts came up through Dana White's Contender Series. 7-0, all finishes. Only 2 fights even got to the second round. The guy has real power in his hands, great boxing, good finishing instincts. Taking on a guy in Thomas Gifford who's more experienced, 14-7, but not in the UFC. They're not giving him a guy with UFC experience. Great finisher, but on the ground. What I see here is a setup for Roosevelt Roberts to look good on the feet and get it done. Great backstory. It's a guy it's easy for the UFC to get behind. And if you want to get behind a guy, you give him a fight where he's going to look good early. And that's exactly what I think happens. My pick, KO or TKO for Roosevelt Roberts. First round over Thomas Gifford. That's when he tends to get it done. John Lineker, Corey Sandhagen. This is one a lot of people think it's going to be fight of the night. Both guys fantastic. Sandhagen, 10-1. John Lineker, an outstanding fighter. Great record, and he's fought some great names. That's a big thing for me. When you're 31-8, it's not just about the numbers, but the guys you have beaten. Wins over guys like John Dodson, Ian McCall, Rob Font, tough guys in the weight class. And when you have that experience level, his opponent, Cody Sandhagen, very, very tall, 5'11", really tall for this weight class. But Lineker has the experience to get around those physical abilities. Sandhagen doesn't know what it's like to lose in the UFC yet. Lineker does. And he doesn't want that feeling again. So I think the experienced fighter, the guy who's been through a bit more, I'm taking him in this fight. I go by decision. It's going to be tough for him to get a finish. I think he wins by decision. Very tough fight over Sandhagen. Glover Teixeira versus Ian Cutelaba. Glover Teixeira, does he have another big win in him? I think he does. Getting on there in years, 39 years old. But he's always had the kind of style that ages well. A lot of power, especially in the left hook. His grappling game is very, very top-heavy, very safe. He just smothers the life out of you and then strangles you. So he has a style that can still do well at 39. He's never been particularly athletic and explosive and does a lot of crazy, funky stuff. He doesn't do that. It's a basic bread-and-butter kind of style. And with that style, I think he can still get something done at 39 years old. Cutelaba, of course, younger, 25 years old, I think. Experienced. This isn't his first rodeo, 14-3. But this is the biggest name of his career, the biggest veteran of his career. And I don't think I've seen that fight from Glover Teixeira that I think the cliff is coming. He's had too many wars. He's really slowing down. Obviously not as fast as he used to be, but has a style where I still think he can land the bomb and get it done. Still think he can get it done on the ground. So it's really my feelings about Glover Teixeira that make me call this the way I am, which is submission in the third round for Glover Teixeira. Might have to weather an early storm against a young, hungry fighter. I think he gets it done by submission third round. Alex Oliveira versus Mike Perry. Normally, I would pick Oliveira by submission. We've seen Mike Perry have trouble with that with the other Cowboy Cerrone, losing by brutal armbar. Alex Oliveira, I think, has the skills to do that exact same thing. The difference here is, in his last fight against Gunnar Nelson, Alex Oliveira suffered a serious cut. Big time. If you saw it, it looked like the Grand Canyon, leaking everywhere. That was the end of the fight. How much has it healed up in between fights? I don't know. And will Alex Oliveira be thinking about it? You know, Mike Perry is going to target it. If he can cut him early, man, it's probably his fight. I am betting Alex Oliveira is able to weather the storm, get the fight to the ground, and win by submission. I say it's a gritty, tough, difficult fight, but I think he does it by second round submission. So Alex Oliveira by submission over Mike Perry in round 2. It's a tough call. Hopefully that cut doesn't open up, but I think he has the ground skills to get it done if it doesn't. Greg Hardy, Dmitry Smolyakov. I didn't see anything from Greg Hardy in his UFC debut to warrant him being here. Not just in the UFC, but co-main eventing. Big, physical, athletic heavyweight, hits hard. Other than that, he didn't have a single other skill I consider to be at the UFC level. His gas didn't look good. His ground didn't look good. His composure didn't look good. Got DQ'd with an illegal knee. He basically did everything wrong. the exact wrong outcome for the UFC, who doubled down the first time. It's kind of tripling down now on Greg Hardy. So I think Dmitry Smolyakov wins just because he's the more skilled fighter. And that might be the end of Greg Hardy, especially at this level, co-main eventing a card. I think he gets it done by KO or TKO third round. I think Greg Hardy's gas catches up to him again. And Smolyakov, you can ride out the first 2 rounds, and maybe that explosive athletic ability that Greg Hardy has, if he can overcome that, third round TKO for Dmitry. The main event. Ronaldo Jacaré versus Hermansson. A lot of people, surprising to me, picking Hermansson for this fight. I think Ronaldo Jacaré is probably the most talented fighter on the UFC roster to not get a title shot yet. The reason is he's in with a bunch of monsters. I mean, 185 is really stacked. The top 5 or 6 are incredible. It rivals 155 in terms of the depth there. So he's just been one fight away, one step out. The problem is he's had trouble stringing together a complete fight. He's finished a lot of guys. But if you look at the Yoel Romero fight he lost, he got beat early, came back, was finishing strong. It wasn't enough. He loses by decision. If you look at the Weidman fight that he just won, he was behind the entire fight. He manages to come back, still explosive enough to get the finish at the end. Kelvin Gastelum starts off strong, looks great in the first round, and then fades after round 1. So it's the idea of stringing the minutes together. He has a tendency to either start strong and fade late, or not get started fast enough and then finish strong. He's got to put together the minutes. Now, one thing you say about Jacaré is his losses recently, Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, Kelvin Gastelum, guys at the top. He hasn't lost to a mid-level guy. He hasn't lost to anything but the elite. And right now, if he wins his fight, he's elite. Hermansson is not, to me, on that level. Unorthodox, funky, aggressive, hits very, very hard, has a great submission game. He's not going to catch Jacaré. There's different levels here. Okay, so submission defense, yeah, but I don't think he has submission defense if Jacaré gets on top of him, gets a takedown, puts it on him, plays a smart jiu-jitsu game, mount, finish, he can get it. And I think that's what happens. So my call for this one is Ronaldo Jacaré by first round submission. I think he gets it done quickly because he knows he can't just win against these mid-level guys. He has to really impress in order to get that title shot. So I think he walks out with that mentality, and that's exactly what he does. Ronaldo Jacaré over Hermansson by first round submission. So to recap, Roosevelt Roberts, first round KO over Thomas Gifford. John Lineker, he wins by decision over Corey Sandhagen. Glover Teixeira, I have him winning by submission, third round. Alex Oliveira, I have him winning by submission, second round over Mike Perry. Greg Hardy, Dmitry Smolyakov, I have Smolyakov winning by KO in the third round. And Ronaldo Jacaré gets it done in the first round by submission. Sign up, fightpicks.com, Jimmy Smith, all one word, and see how you do against me, all right? Take it easy and enjoy the fights.